Greetings, life forms. Change of plans. Not going to Baltimore right now because when I got out of my therapy session, which we specifically ended 10 minutes early so that I could go to Baltimore and get there on time, it's supposed to take an hour, and GPS said it would take 2 hours. And it was like just at the time they close at 5, and I could have left and gotten there, maybe would have gotten there right on time, except I thought ahead. I thought, if I need to predict them, what am I going to do? What's the cruelest thing they could do? Well, they could put traffic, exactly as much traffic as necessary to try to stop me. Not too much so that I don't go, but just as much so that I think I can make it there. And then they'll mess with the numbers on the way to make sure. And then because I have to pass the NSA headquarters, they'll just issue more vehicles on the road until they have it exactly dialed in to where I would freak the fuck out because it's like so much uncertainty and it keeps going either way. And then they would probably try to fucking bum rush me if I actually made it there but didn't get the tattoo stuff, and then I went to skateboard. They'd probably try to bum rush me at the park, at the spot, whatever I was going to go skate at, if I even got there. So even if nothing actually was going to happen and they were just going to fuck with my timing, I was like, predictable. Let's not go. So I called them, and I'll go on Monday probably. And then on the way home, there was like an accident right as I was entering Annandale, right past 495. I was just coming from Main Street down Little River Turnpike, and it looked like there's an accident. 2 cars stopped, and then another 2 cars. And one of them had their blinker on, but they were like kind of inching over and then stopping, kind of inching over. So I stopped, and I waited like between 5 and 10 seconds, and then when they didn't start going, I started going again because there's a bunch of people behind me. And then that's when 2 cars step out and try to block where I'm going. And I'm like, So I honk. They don't stop. I've also got music playing. It's like they definitely could have noticed me. So then I honk and I go around them. And then one of the guys in the first car that was out, he's like, like, apparently this guy's in such of a hurry that he can't even blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, so you want an explanation. So I slowed down. I put my hand out like this so he'd see I wasn't pointing a gun at him. And I said, apparently you want an explanation. I stopped and waited for you guys to go. And when you didn't go, I started going again. And right as I started going again, you guys went in front of me. And then he's like, starts like gearing up to call me an asshole and shit. And it's like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, I know what he's about to say because I know American dumbass. Sorry, you're such an asshole. And he goes, fuck you, fuck you. And I'm like, okay, fuck you too, bitch. And he goes, fuck you, you fucked up bitch. And apparently that's some people's love language, which I had to learn because to me that's like not how you talk to people. But apparently, for some reason, white America, that's the language they speak. So fortunately, that at that point, he went his separate way. I went my separate way. Turned the music back up because I'd turned it down to speak to him. And now I'm home again. So we'll just go to Baltimore another day. Therapy went well, though. I did neurofeedback today.
Apparently you're a therapy monger and that's illegal because I say so. Even though we...
Alright, check this out. I was just recording a video talking about how I'm not going to Baltimore today because the traffic was designed by the NSA to piss me off and possibly kill me on the way up there. And I was also talking about how some motherfuckers abused me letting them merge and then started yelling at me. And then look what happened. I opened Viridi, which is a program where I just water virtual succulents, and this happened. My screen went black and it's not coming back on. That is a cyber attack. Which may point to the NSA doing this. Maybe. I don't know. It could be someone else, but when things add up like that. See? Nothing. You can still hear that the music is coming out of it. I even tried Control-Delete. Nothing. Let me try closing it and opening it. See if that helps. Nope. So they actually just did that. All I did was open Viridi. V-I-R-I-D-I. And this has never happened before. And now they are resorting to cyber attacks. And I do wonder if it's gonna save, because OBS is clearly still active, because this white thing is up here. So let's see. The only thing I can think of to do is to shut down my whole system, which means I should do that. And this. But that's insane, because there's no reason that it should have shut off like this. So hopefully the OBS thing saved itself. I'll click it once first. Let me turn this off too. I just didn't want my speakers to pop when I turn it off. Give it another chance to think about its actions. Nothing. Okay, well then I tapped this. We're just gonna have to force shut down now. Hold, hold, hold until that white thing goes off. Yep, there, it's off. No more sounds. I have to poop, man. Oh, what a horrible time to have to poop. Ah, looks like they fried my whole ass. Oh no, there it is, okay. Cool, I was gonna say, it looks like they fried my whole computer. We'll see how it goes. Whether it turns on properly or not, and whether or not the video is saved from the OBS. See, look, there it is. It just turned on like it was nothing. I guarantee you I didn't intentionally cause that either. Alright, now let's do some reconnaissance and see if the video is saved or not. My guess is corrupted, and the reason that it happened is because I was correct. I was explaining that as I left my therapy session a bit early, as discussed, so I could get to Baltimore. It should take an hour to get to Baltimore, but it was going to take 2 hours, and it was going to be right around the time that the tattoo supply place closes. And I was like, let me predict what's happening up there. If this is an enemy attack, what they're probably going to do is something cruel, which is cause traffic to be exactly the amount of time where I would arrive right when they close, and then try to make me go because it's not enough extra time for me to not go. But then since I have to pass the NSA headquarters, they would just keep issuing new cars onto the road for traffic to try to make it so that I arrive perfectly just late enough to miss the timing. And then if I tried to go skateboard, they're trying to make me crash out with that. And then if I tried to go skateboard in Baltimore afterwards, they're probably going to try to crash out on me there. I'm almost about to poop myself, so I'm going to pause real quick and poop. All right, don't worry. I washed my hands and everything. That's what I get for drinking so much caffeine. I thought I was going to have to drive kind of far. Anyway, and then on the way home, the other thing I was explaining is that on the way home from therapy, there was an accident as I was getting into Annandale and on Little River Turnpike, and there were two people behind the two cars. There were two cars behind the two cars that were in an accident, and they put on their blinker, and then they started merging, so I stopped. And then I waited like 5 to 10 seconds, and they didn't continue merging. They just sat there. So I started going, and as soon as I started going, both cars tried to merge into me. And I went around them and honked my horn. I honked my horn first to tell them that I was coming through. Because it's like, hey, you guys just straight up stopped. Like, what the fuck? I even had music playing. You could hear it. You knew I was there. And then the guy in the front car was like, put his hand out the window, and I could hear him. And he said something like, oh, but apparently this asshole doesn't have time, or is in such a fucking hurry he can't wait, or something like that. And it's like, I did wait. And then when I started going, the only reason I accelerated like that was so you didn't crash into me. So I explained, I slowed down, and I spoke to him through the window, and I explained that I had stopped, waited for them to go, and when they didn't go, I started going, and that's when they started going. And then he started like getting upset and started yelling at me. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Stop right there. I'm sorry. You're such an asshole. And I had my hand out the window like this the whole time. Stop. You know, I had nothing in my hand like that. And then he's like, fuck you. I was just saying what I thought he was going to say because I'm not an asshole. And it sounded like he was gearing up to do that, to say, sorry, you're such an asshole. So I was like, oh, pretty sure I know where this is going. And he's like, fuck you. I'm like, fuck you too, bitch. And he's like, fuck you, you fucked up bitch. And I realized that's probably just white America's love language. So then he went his separate way, and I went my separate way, and continued home. And turned my music back up, because I turned it down, because he sounded like he wanted an explanation. And as I was explaining that on OBS, and after I explained it, and I was saying something else, I can't remember what else I said. And I literally went to open this program. Without the other stuff running, let's open that program. I just went like this. I double tapped on this. And the only other thing I had was OBS and iTunes running. And that's when my screen went black. Let me turn my speakers back on now. So that's why it seemed like a cyber attack to me, especially because I was concerned that the NSA was also going to try to obstruct me, even though I've been helping the NSA. But if you watch Echelon, you'll realize if the NSA goes too far, the NSA is a threat to the national security. Go watch the Echelon conspiracy. So after I finish watering these plants, I'll go check to see if the OBS video is saved or not. We'll see. But yeah, I think it was a combination of me explaining those factors that caused the cyber attack, because I've never had my screen go black like that on this computer. And no, I'm not sure it was the NSA. It could have been anyone, because I'm not about to go look and try to figure out who the fuck did it, because I explicitly set my system up so I shouldn't have to do that, because someone else is supposed to do that for me and keep my system safe. Let me see. Videos. Let's see if this one's corrupted or not. It might not be. Let's see. Is it?
Greetings, life forms.
I don't know. It's playing and I can't scroll it. That's weird.
Because when I got out of my therapy session, which we specifically ended 10 minutes early so I could go to Baltimore and get there on time, it's supposed to take an hour.
That's weird. I can't scroll it. Let me see if this one I can scroll. Scrub. Yeah, see, I can scrub the timeline on this one. That's gnarly. And then on this one, which is the one that I just did when my computer shut down, let's see if nope, I still can't scrub it.
Greetings, life forms.
Fascinating. Let's see if we open it in VLC, if that'll change it. Why isn't it opening? All right, well, there it is. Okay. There, now I can scrub it. Fascinating.
Anyway.
Look, it's all stuttery and everything. You can hear me, but
now I gotta figure out what else I'm gonna do.
Let's see what it looks like when it crashes.
Actually, there's nothing funny about it. You're just ignorant.
Swag. That's what I was doing. I was being like blah, 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 blah. And then it was like, put this guy in the psych ward, he's crazy. And I was like, but I'm just talking how you were talking. Blah, 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 blah. That's what you said. Blah, 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 blah. I'm just repeating you. And that's when they shut the shit down. Yeah, because look, I clicked this.
This is my favorite part.
Blah, 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 blah. He should be in the hospital.
And then you couldn't hear the rest of what I was saying. And then I was like, he should be in the psych ward because he's crazy. And I was like, what do you mean I'm crazy? I'm just saying what you were saying. You said blah, 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 blah. And that's when the screen went black. All right, well, these are going to be conjunctive videos. And let's double check first. Let's double check. And it's all just people fucking... my assumption here, which may not be true, is that it's all just people fucking bullying me. Run in safe mode. No, we have to run it normally because we have to do the same thing we did last time in order to have a proper experiment. So I had iTunes open. I had OBS recording. Let me double check that. Hold on. Let me make sure that was all that was open. iTunes. I also had this open. And looks like I had a Microsoft Edge tab. Restore.
This is my favorite part.
But it wasn't playing, it was paused.
He should be in the
It's a free
hospital.
browser extension that blocks ads on your favorite sites. You install it once and then you can
Good to know. So there's that. And then I don't even think I had, I didn't have even a explore like that. And then it was like this. And then I just had this open. And I had it open to performance control. But I had it on default because I hadn't started gaming yet. And then I had some music playing. And I think it was at around this level. And then let's see. Start recording. Yep. Nope, just booted up normally. It was just because I was going blah, 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 and it was pissing them off. Blah, 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 blah. That's what you guys said. Wait, hold on. My mic's not on yet. Hold on. Check, check, check. Blah, 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 blah. That's exactly what you guys were saying. Blah, 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 blah.
This guy should be in the hospital. He should be in the psych ward because he's crazy.
How am I crazy? I'm just saying what you said. You literally said to me, Anyway, now we're gonna stop this recording. Wait, no, I'm gonna stop the phone recording first. Check. That's exactly what you guys were saying.
This guy should be in the hospital. He should be in the psych ward because he's crazy.
How am I crazy? I'm just saying what you said. You literally said to me, Anyway, now we're gonna stop this recording. Wait, no, I'm gonna stop the phone recording first. And now I'm gonna stop this recording and we're gonna stitch them all together. Check, check. Okay, I think I may have just figured out. I think JP or whatever his name was, he must have been the one who sent me the package. I mean, maybe he didn't, but I'm starting to put the pieces together. Maybe he was the one who sent me the package. Knowing that I would think it was from the NSA if it came from Maryland. Especially with Prime the word Prime from Prime Bark associated with it, because he knew, or someone knew, that I was going to associate that with Sirius Prime, which was presented to me as a DARPA Delta Force project in which I was inducted. I was supposed to be a part of that. That's how it was labeled. So maybe that's what happened. He sent it to me, and then he arrested me. Because every time it... Oh, wait, no, that can't be right. Because the one they arrested me for was the one that came from Germany that I already got a refund for. Or maybe it is right. Maybe that is right. Maybe they sent it and they let me get it first because they knew that I'd started extracting with it. And then, because I trusted people in this process, because I wasn't trying to hide it, I just wasn't advertising it to people around me if it wasn't necessary, which in 99% of the cases, it's not necessary. So I guess he sent it to me, or someone sent it to me. It may have been him. They waited for me to start extracting, and they monitored me the whole time, because that's where the picture came from. The day before, I was walking from that house to over here, and I was humming a tune or something, or singing, and then I saw someone, and I thought they were pointing something at me, and I went, whoa! And then I was like, oh, sorry, and they cringed. They went like this. I was like, oops, what was that all about? And then the next day they arrested me and they had a picture of me going from that house to the other, to this house. So they probably held the package in customs, the one that was coming from Germany. And that's why I got a refund for it. They probably held it until I made the other prime bark. And because they knew I would associate that with safety, especially if I thought it was coming from the NSA. So that one got to me, and they waited until I started extracting. And then they were watching me. They were stalking me. And they figured, okay, now we'll release it from customs today so that we can use that as an excuse, and we'll say we tested it even though we didn't because the package wasn't opened. And if you did open the package and you repackaged it, how did you have access to the exact same packaging? And why did you let me do this shit for a year? I stopped. And I had to start again because someone who was in my circle in an association, and we played a video game together that had shooting violence, he then got shot. And that was traumatic. So you used everything against me. All of that trust shit just went right the fuck out the window. And you used it all against me when I made all of my intentions clear.